Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 91.
Okay, let's start with Kong Ming's return journey. He's bringing the army back to Shu. It's September, Jiangxing Year 3. Should be smooth sailing, right?
You'd think so.
Yeah.
But nope. They reach the Lu River, the Lushiri, and everything just stops.
Stops how? Like bad weather?
Way beyond bad weather. We're talking fierce winds whipping up, dark clouds rolling in, the river surging. Basically impossible to cross.
So more than just a storm.
Oh, yeah. And the locals, they have an explanation. Meng Huo, the southern leader Kong Ming just dealt with, he tells them the river is haunted.
Haunted? By what?
By Changshan, vicious gods, or maybe angry spirits of the dead. And to calm them, to cross safely. Well, there's a tradition.
Okay, I have a feeling this isn't going to be pleasant. What's the tradition?
Yeah, the old custom, the sources say, required 49 human heads.
49 human heads, seriously?
Seriously. Plus black oxen and white sheep as sacrifices. But yeah, the heads were the main thing.
Wow, okay, so Kong Ming just finished a campaign to bring peace and stability, and now the local custom demands, well, ritual murder just to get his army home.
It's a massive moral dilemma, isn't it? You fight against barbarity and then you're asked to commit it yourself.
So what does he do?
He refuses. Absolutely refuses. There's that famous line, right? Having just achieved peace, how can I arbitrarily kill one person? Anke Wang Sha Yiren.
He draws a hard line there, no killing.
Exactly. Even one life is too many, especially now. But the problem is, the river is disturbed, his troops are spooked.
And the locals?
They're hearing things. The text mentions these awful sounds, wailing and crying every night, from sunset to dawn.
What did they think it was?
They figured it was the unquiet souls of everyone who died there. You know, the Shu soldiers killed in the campaign, plus all the southern natives who perished too. Thousands of them, supposedly, trapped by the river.
Okay, so there's genuine fear, maybe mass hysteria, centered on these deaths. Kong Ming has to do something.
Right. He needs to acknowledge the dead, appease the spirits, or at least appease the living who believe in the spirits, but without the bloodshed.
So, the creative solution.
This is where the genius comes in. He orders the army cooks to slaughter the sacrificial animals. They did have cattle, horses. Then mix flour and water into dough. Shape the dough into forms resembling human heads.
Okay, I see where this is going.
And stuff them with the beef and mutton. He calls them mantu. Literally barbarian heads, though it sounds less gruesome now.
And that's it. The invention of the steamed bun, just like that. Born from trying to avoid human sacrifice.
That's the account. It's brilliant, really. No substitute. It respects the form of the tradition, but completely changes the substance, replacing violence with, well, food.
But it wasn't just tossing some dough heads into the water, was it?
Yeah.
There was more to it.
Oh, absolutely. He stages a whole ceremony, very solemn, very public. Kong Ming himself is there, overseeing it, right on the riverbank.
What did that involve?
They set out 49 lamps, one for each head demanded. They waved banners, trying to summon the souls, call them forth. And then Dom Ju, one of his officers, reads this really detailed, moving memorial.
A memorial? To whom?
And this is key. It was addressed to both sides, to the spirits of the Shu soldiers who died and the spirits of the southern natives who died. He's acknowledging everyone's loss.
That's actually quite powerful, not just honoring his own men.
Right, taking responsibility for all the casualties of the war. And the text says Kong Ming himself was weeping sincerely during this.
And the result? Did it work?
According to the source, yes. As he wept, these thousands of ghostly shadows were seen dispersing in the wind. That the next day, the fog cleared, the winds died down, the river was calm.
And the army crossed safely.
They did. Campaign successfully completed. It's just a masterclass in leadership, you know, using compassion and cleverness instead of just brute force or blind tradition.
It really says a lot about him, that value on human life, even finding symbolic ways to honor it.
Exactly. And it's a really stark contrast to what's happening over in the rival Wei Kingdom around the same time. Total mess over there.
Okay, let's shift focus then. Kong Ming gets back to Chengdu. He's hailed as a hero by the emperor, the Huzu. Things in Shu seem stable. Families of the fallen are compensated. Peace, right?
For Shu, yes, for a moment. But in Wei, not so much. This is Jiangxing Year 4 now, and Emperor Cao Pai, emperor when he dies.
How long had he been emperor?
Only 7 years. And his death comes right after some serious palace drama.
Drama involving who?
2 women, mainly. His wife, Empress Zhen Shi, who, interestingly, used to be married to Yuan Shi, one of the sons of Cao Cao's rival, Yuan Shao.
Okay, complex backstory there. And the other woman?
A favored consort, Guo Bifei. And she was apparently very ambitious, wanted the empress title for herself.
Ugh. So, a classic power struggle. How did Guo play it?
Ruthlessly, it seems. The sources claim she conspired with a eunuch, Zhang Tao. Their plan was to frame Empress Zhen.
Frame her for what?
For using black magic against the emperor, Yanzhen.
Black magic. How did they prove that?
They supposedly found a Tongmu Aren, like a little wooden doll, an effigy buried somewhere, inscribed with Cao Pai's birth details. You know, classic voodoo doll setup.
Wow. Did Cao Pai actually buy that? Or was it just a convenient excuse?
Hard to say for sure, right? Maybe he believed it. Maybe he just wanted Zhen Shi out of the way so he could promote Guo. Either way, the outcome was swift.
Let me guess. Bad news for Zhen Shi.
Very bad. Cao Pai sentenced her to death. And then, wouldn't you know it, he elevates Guo Gifei to empress.
So the scheming worked. That's incredibly cynical. Just pure cutthroat politics behind the throne.
Absolutely. It shows you how unstable things were, how vulnerable even an empress could be if someone powerful wanted her gone.
Okay, so Zhen Shi is out, Guo Guifei is in. What about the heir? Cao Pai had a son, right? Cao Rui?
Yes, Cao Rui. And he was actually Zhen Shi's son, though Guo Gifei later adopted him. He was about 15 at this time.
15. Caught in the middle of all this. Did it affect him?
Well, there's this famous anecdote about him. Seems to suggest he had a good heart despite the environment.
The hunting story.
That's the one. Cao Pai and Cao Rui are out hunting. Cao Pai shoots a mother deer. Then he points to the little fawn standing there, tells Cao Rui, okay, son, you shoot that one.
Oh, man. What does Cao Rui do?
He starts crying, refuses. He says something like, Your Majesty already killed the mother. How could I bear to kill the son, too?
Wow. That takes guts, especially in that court. How did Cao Pai react?
He was apparently really moved, maybe surprised. He threw down his own bow and arrow, declared Cao Rui was truly benevolent, a future good ruler.
And that helped secure his position.
Seems like it. Cao Pai made him Prince of Pingwan right after that. It sort of legitimized him, maybe calmed fears about the succession after all the drama with his mother.
But Cao Pai himself wasn't well, you said.
No, he was fading. The sources talk about a chilling sickness. He knew the end was near.
So what did he do to prepare for the transition? With a young heir?
He called in his big guns, his most trusted advisors, summoned them to his deathbed.
Who were they?
Cao Zhen, Chen Quan, and crucially, Sima Yu.
Ah, Sima Yi. He's already in the inner circle.
Oh, yes. Deeply trusted by Cao Pi at this point. And Cao Pai gives them a clear mandate. You three need to work together, assist young Cao Rui, guide him. A joint regency, basically.
Trying to prevent any one person from getting too much power. Or maybe prevent more betrayal.
Probably both. He even mentioned a bad omen. The main gate of the Zhuchang city wall had just collapsed for no reason. He took it as a sign his time was up.
And was it?
Yes, he died soon after, only 40 years old.
40? That's young. Leaving a 15-year-old emperor and a council of regents, including the very capable Sima Yi.
Exactly, and this sets up the next phase immediately. Cao Rui takes the throne, the new government is formed, and Sima Yi gets a promotion.
What title does he get?
General-in-Chief of Cavalry. Piao Jida Jiangjin, a very senior military position.
Okay. And does he just sit tight in the capital?
Nope. Sima Yi makes a move right away, a very strategic move.
Which is?
He petitions the new young Emperor Cao Rui to be assigned command of the western regions, specifically Yang and Liang provinces.
Yang and Liang? Hang on, where are they relative to Kongming's state of Shu?
Right next door. They share a border.
Ah, so Sima Yi is asking to be put in charge of the armies directly facing Shuhan.
Precisely. And Cao Rui, likely trusting the man his father appointed, grants the request. Just like that, Sima Yi is the military commander on Shu's doorstep.
How does Kongming react when he hears this news back in Chengdu?
Alarm bells.
Yeah.
Major alarm bells. The source says he was deeply disturbed.
Why such a strong reaction? Is it just Sima Yi's presence or something more?
It's who Sima Yi is. Kongming recognizes him immediately. He says, Cao Pai is dead. Fine, Cao Rui is young. Okay. But Sima Yi is different.
How so?
He describes him as Shen Yumulu, possessing deep cunning and strategic brilliance. Not just another general.
A real intellectual opponent.
Exactly. Kongming sees the danger instantly. If Sima Yi gets time to settle into Yang and Liang, train those armies, fortify that border, he'll become what the text calls a Shuzhongji Dahuan.
Which it means?
A massive calamity for Shu. An existential threat.
So Kongming's instinct is?
Attack now, launch a preemptive strike against Wei immediately before Sima Yi can consolidate his power in the west, hit them while they're still adjusting to the new emperor.
Oh, wait, didn't we just establish the Shu army was exhausted from the southern campaign?
Exactly. That's the problem. Logistics are strained, the troops are tired, it's a huge risk.
So the man who wouldn't kill one person arbitrarily is now considering a major war to preempt a threat.
It seems so. But this is where one of his advisors steps in, Ma Su.
Ma Su. Okay, what does he suggest?
He argues against the immediate invasion, says the army is too tired, it's too dangerous right now, but he offers an alternative way to deal with Sima Yi.
An alternative. Not military.
No, pure politics, or rather pure deception. Information warfare. He proposes a scheme, Lian. Rumors.
Okay, tell me about this plan. It sounds sneaky.
Well, it is. Ma Su suggests sending secret agents into Wei's capital, Luoyang, and also Yi County. Their job, spread rumors.
What kind of rumors?
That Sima Yi is plotting treason, that he's planning to overthrow the young Emperor Cao Rui and seize power himself.
Wow. Directly attacking his loyalty right when he's been entrusted by the dying emperor.
Exactly. And it gets worse. They weren't just going to whisper this stuff.
What else?
Ma Su proposed creating fake documents, fake public notices, Bang Wen, supposedly written by Sima Yi, outlining his treasonous plans, and then posting them publicly.
Manufacturing evidence. That's audacious.
Totally. The goal was ruthless. Plant so much suspicion in Cao Rui's mind, feed his potential insecurity as a young ruler, that he'd be forced to remove Sima Yi himself.
Remove him how? Just dismiss him.
Or execute him. Get Wei to eliminate its own most capable general, without Shu having to lift a finger militarily. Assassination by rumor mill.
Okay, this is fascinating. We have Kong Wing, who invented the Mantu to avoid killing anyone at the Lu River.
Yeah.
And now he's being presented with a plan to essentially murder his rival using lies and slander. Does he go for it?
He does. Kong Ming adopts Ma Su's plan.
How do we square that? The morality seems completely flipped.
It's a tough one, isn't it? But maybe the thinking is different. At the Lu River, killing those 49 people was arbitrary, unnecessary violence against people already pacified. Sima Yi, however,
He's seen as a direct threat to the survival of the state.
that seems to be the calculation. Sima Yi isn't just some local custom. He's the potential downfall of Shu itself. So the rules change. When the stakes are existential, maybe strategic deception, however ruthless, becomes justifiable in Kong Ming's mind.
The ethical cost of the lie is less than the potential cost of Sima Yi's unchecked power.
That appears to be the grim logic, yeah. Protect the state, even if it means resorting to the kind of underhanded tactics you might normally condemn. In Yi City, it's the capital of Wei, and one morning, things get dramatic.
Yeah, guards find this proclamation, a gaushi posted right on the main city gate. Big deal.
Very public.
Oh, yeah. And it gets rushed straight to the emperor, Cao Rui. Imagine getting handed that. It must have felt like holding live dynamite.
Because of what it said.
And who it claimed to be from. That was the genius part. It was forged, but it looked like it came directly from Sima Yi.
Wei's top general on the Western Front, the guy they needed most.
The very one. General of chariots and cavalry, governor of Yong and Liang. You know, the key defensive region against Shu.
Okay, so what did this fake proclamation actually claim?
It had two main points, both absolutely devastating. Real poison pills. First, it just flat out attacked Emperor Cao Rui, said he lacked virtue, wasn't fit to rule, basically trashing his legitimacy, failed his grandfather Cao's legacy, the works.
Ouch, that's treason right there.
And then came the second part. It didn't just criticize, it offered a replacement. Cao Ji, the Prince of Chenxi, a known rival claimant historically. The proclamation said he was the true heir and Sima Yi was ready to put him on the throne. By force.
Wow.
And it finished with this absolutely chilling threat. Resist this, and Sima Yi will exterminate your 9 clans.
Yeah.
Your entire family, your network, everything. Gone.
So it wasn't just treason, it was a declaration of imminent civil war, supposedly from their top general.
Precisely. Maximum destabilization.
Cao Rui's reaction, predictable, I guess?
Utter terror. Yeah. He pulls his court together immediately, looking for advice, for reassurance maybe.
But instead,
the fear just gets amplified, because this plays right into old, deep-seated paranoia about Sima Yi.
Right. This wasn't the first time people had been wary of him.
Not at all. And Minister Huaxin jumps right on it. He brings up this famous warning from Cao Cao himself decades earlier.
What was the warning?
Cao Cao had apparently observed Sima Yi and said he had a hawk-like gaze and wolf-like glance. Not Ying Xilingu.
A hawk's gaze and a wolf's glance. Sounds ominous.
It was meant to be. It was seen as a sign of hidden ambition, ruthlessness, someone you couldn't fully trust, especially Cao Cao warned, not with military power.
And Hua Xin brings us up now, decades later.
Yes. He basically says, see, Cao Cao warned us, this proclamation proves it. And he demands Sima Yi be executed immediately.
Just based on a forged note and an old observation?
It seems so. It tapped into that existing fear. And Wang Lang, another senior minister, instantly agreed. Said Sima Yi was too smart, too ambitious, had to go. Now.
So the spy plot is working perfectly. Panic, old grudges flaring up.
Complete chaos. Executing Sima Yi right then would have been exactly what Xu or Wu wanted.
Yeah.
Wei would probably collapse into infighting.
But someone saw through it. Or at least urged caution.
Thankfully, yes. General Cao Zhen, he was the voice of reason in the room.
What did he argue?
He said, look, attacking Sima Yi without solid proof is incredibly risky. You'll just force him to rebel for real. He suspected it was an enemy plot.
He actually used that term.
The text says he identified it as a possible Wu or Xu counterintelligence plot, a fan Jianziji, designed specifically to make them weaken themselves internally.
So the enemy could strike while we are weak.
Exactly. Changzhu Ji. Classic strategy.
So Cao Rui's caught. Execute based on fear and history, or hold back based on strategic logic. Tough spot.
Very. He's paralyzed. In the end, he takes Cao Zhen's advice, but only part way. He agrees to a test.
A test? How do you test something like this?
They decide to mimic an old imperial trick used by Han Gaozu. Cao Rui announces he's making a trip to Ani.
Near where Sima Yi is stationed.
Close enough. The idea is Sima Yi will naturally come out to greet the emperor's procession. Then they can observe him up close, see how he acts, maybe catch him off guard.
So they lay a trap.
They lay a trap. But Sima Yi, completely oblivious that his reputation is currently burning down back in the capital,
Walks right into it.
walks right into it and makes things so much worse for himself, unintentionally.
So what did he do?
He decided to make an impression. He showed up to greet the emperor, not just with his usual staff, but with tens of thousands of soldiers, fully armored.
Oh, no.
Yeah. He likely meant it as a show of his power in service to the throne. Look how strong and ready your Western command is, Your Majesty.
Mm-hmm.
Projecting prestige. Wyan.
But for Cao Rui, who's already primed to see him as a threat.
It looked like proof. Here's Sima Yi, the guy with the hawk gaze, the guy accused of plotting rebellion, showing up with a massive private army. It just confirmed every fear Cao Rui had.
The optics were just disastrous.
Completely. So when Cao Zhu, who's the emperor's cousin, now part of this test, confronts Sima Yi directly with the fake proclamation,
What happens?
Sima Yi is floored. The text says he was greatly alarmed, sweat covering his body. He instantly realized he'd been framed.
So he denies it.
Vehemently. Blames it squarely on a Wu and Xu counterintelligence plot. But, standing there sweating with tens of thousands of troops behind him, it didn't look good.
The visual just overwhelmed the denial.
Pretty much. The psychological damage was done. Irreparable, really.
Did he try anything to salvage the situation? A last-ditch effort?
He did. He immediately tried to change the subject, basically. Pivot to external enemies.
How?
He pleaded with Cao Rui. Let me lead an army, he begged. Let me go defeat Xu, then turn around and crush Wu. That will prove my loyalty beyond doubt. Show, don't tell.
A bold move. Put him back in command.
But Hua Xin, his main accuser in court, was right there, and he immediately shot it down. Told the emperor, absolutely not, don't give this man any military power ever again.
Ugh. So the paranoia won out.
It did. Cao Rui made the call. Sima Yi was stripped of all titles, all offices, sent home in disgrace. Shui Zishang.
And crucially, who got his command? The Western Front command.
It went to Cao Ji, the emperor's cousin, the one who confronted Sima Yi. Definitely not the strategic genius Sima Yi was.
So a massive downgrade for Wei's defense against Xu.
A huge one. And the report of Sima Yi's dismissal sent straight to Xu.
The spies delivered the perfect outcome. Wei's best defender removed, replaced by someone less capable, all thanks to internal fear.
Exactly. The operation was a complete success without a single battle fought.
It's really stark, isn't it? The contrast between Wei's internal implosion and what happens next in Xu.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The moment that news hits Xu, it's like flipping a switch.
Kongming here, Sima Yi is gone.
And the sources say he rejoiced, actually celebrated, declared that with Sima Yi sidelined, the main obstacle was gone. He had no worries. Wu Yu He Yu.
The path was clear.
The window was open.
Yeah.
But he knew it wouldn't stay open long. Wei would reorganize eventually.
So he had to act fast.
Immediately, he goes straight to the later ruler, Lu Shan or Hu Zu, and he presents this incredible document.
The Chu Shi Biao.
the Chu Shi Biao, the memorial on leaving the capital. This is it, the formal launch of the northern expeditions.
And it's so much more than just saying we're going to war, isn't it?
Oh, miles more. It's a political masterpiece. It's about securing his home base, managing the court, ensuring stability while he's away on campaign. It's brilliant statecraft.
So let's dig into that. How does he structure it? What's the core message?
Well, he starts by setting the stakes incredibly high. Makes it existential.
How so?
He says the founding of the kingdom isn't finished yet, and Shu is facing a critical moment of survival or destruction. Weiji Kunwangziki. This isn't optional, he implies. It's necessary for survival.
Creates that sense of urgency, that moral imperative.
Exactly. Then, interestingly, he turns his attention inward, to the palace, to the court he's leaving behind.
What's his main concern there?
Preventing infighting and mismanagement. He urges the young emperor to broaden his horizons, to seek wide counsel. Kaizang Shamting.
Yeah.
Don't just listen to a few favorites.
And fairness too, right? I remember that being key.
Absolutely crucial. He stresses equal application of law and rewards. Ji fazongfu bu yi dong. Promotions, punishments, they have to be the same, whether you're in the palace inner circle or the outer administration. No exceptions. Keep the rules consistent.
And does he give the emperor specific people to rely on?
He does. He names names, which is a bold move. For palace affairs, he points to Guo Yuzi, Fei Yu, and Deng Yun, calls them loyal, capable, the kind of men the emperor should trust implicitly. Basically says, listen to these guys.
Okay, so that's the palace sorted. What about the military side back home?
For that, he recommends General Xiang Chong. Praises his skill in military matters, notes that the late Emperor Liu Bei himself commended him. Says Xiang Chong will ensure the army units remain harmonious. Xing Zhen Himu, again, setting up a clear structure of responsibility.
He's really trying to preempt any potential problems while he's gone.
Completely. And he reinforces his advice with history. This is where he gets really powerful.
The Han Dynasty examples.
Exactly. He draws this sharp contrast. The former Han Dynasty thrived, he says, because its emperors drew close to worthy ministers, Qin Xian Chen.
Okay.
But the latter Han, it collapsed because its emperors drew close to petty individuals, Qin Xiaoren. He specifically calls out the disastrous reigns of Emperor Huan and Emperor Ling as examples of what happens when you listen to the wrong people.
So he's basically telling the young emperor, learn from history, stick with the good guys I've named, or risk repeating the dynasty's fall.
It's heavy stuff. A powerful moral and historical lesson. Then he pivots, makes it personal.
Talks about his own service.
Yes. Reminds the emperor of his own journey, how he was just commoner, Bai Yi, living in a thatched hut, wanting only to survive the chaos.
Until Liu Bei came calling.
Until the late emperor visited him 3 times in that hut. San Gi Chen Yu Kao Zizong entrusted him with restoring the Han Dynasty at its lowest point, Shouren Yu Bai Zhen Ziqi, after a major defeat.
And he mentions how long he served.
21 years, he says. It's not bragging, it's underlining his unwavering commitment. His entire adult life dedicated to this cause.
So, having established the stakes, the internal plan, the historical precedent, and his own loyalty, what's the ultimate mission statement?
It's crystal clear. He says, having pacified the South, recalling that tough campaign, 5 months crossing the Lu River, Wu Yu Du Lu, the task now is unavoidable. North, settle the Central Plains, Beiding Zongyuan.
Drive out the villains, restore the Han.
That's the goal, restore the dynasty, and then comes the final, crucial part, accountability.
How does he frame that?
He puts himself on the line first. He says, if I fail in this campaign, if I don't defeat the enemy, then punish me, hold me responsible.
Okay.
But then he turns it back to the court. He says, if the advisors I've named, Guo Yuzi, Fei Yi, Deng Yun, fail in their duties, if they don't offer good counsel, then they must be held accountable too.
Expose their negligence.
Wow. So everyone knows exactly what's expected and what happens if they fail. It's genius, really.
Yeah.
Protects himself, motivates them. It's a masterclass in political preparation for a military campaign.
So the plan is laid out. Sima Yu is out of the picture. Was there any last-minute hesitation, anyone trying to stop him?
Well, just 2 things, really. One was more emotional. The young Emperor Huzu apparently expressed concern for Kongming himself, his age, the difficulty of the campaign. Understandable, maybe.
But not a strategic objection.
No. The other objection, though, was strategic, or perhaps cosmic. It came from the court astrologer Qiaozu.
The stars weren't right.
Basically, yeah. Qiaozu looked at the heavens and warned that the signs were bad for an attack north. He said the northern key is intensely strong.
By Fangwang Qijing meaning Wei's destiny, their energy was in an ascendant phase.
And the stars themselves.
Too bright in the north, apparently. He argued it just wasn't the right time astrologically. A bad omen.
How did Kongming handle that? Did it give him pause?
Not really. He was pretty dismissive, actually. Pragmatic to the core.
What was his counter-argument? He essentially said that heaven's way is constantly changing. Tian Dao Bian Yi Bu Chan. You can't rigidly stick to astrological signs when the strategic reality on the ground has shifted so clearly in your favor.
He had the opening. Sima Yi was gone. He wasn't going to let stars stop him.
Pretty much. He saw the political and military opportunity as overriding the celestial warnings.
So he overruled the astrologer.
Yes. Made his final appointments, left specific people in charge. Guo Yuzi, Dong Yun, Fei Yi handling palace affairs. Shang Chong for the military back home. Zhang Wan and Zhang Yi managing the chancellery. Over 100 officials given clear roles.
Meticulous planning right to the end.
Absolutely. Then he mobilized the main army, moved them to the strategic base at Hanzhong, and the first northern expedition officially began.
Kongming doesn't just say, okay, let's march. He sets up this really complex professional command structure. The sources even give us the exact date they marched. What's that tell us?
Well, the fact they note the Bingyan Day, third month of spring, Jiangxing 5th year, it's significant. It means this wasn't some spur-of-the-moment thing.
Right.
This precision, it suggests serious planning.
Right.
Astrologers, strategists, they probably factored in everything, seasons, readiness, maybe even auspicious dates. It feels timed down to the minute.
Wow. And within that timing, this structure, Wei Yan gets a huge role right at the front. What exactly was he doing? Seems like a lot of trust placed in one person.
It was a massive role. He's front director, General Zenbei, and leader of the Qingxiang Sima. Now, that last title, Qingxiang Sima, that's basically chief of staff for the whole expedition.
Oh, okay.
So Kongming is like the CEO, the big picture strategist, but Wei Yan, he's the COO, the guy actually running the operations on the ground, leading that crucial vanguard.
That makes sense. But isn't there a risk having such a, layered structure? Could it slow things down when they need to react fast?
That's the trade-off, isn't it? They tried to balance it. You have Kongming at the top, but then very clear, delegated roles below him. Look at logistics, for example. That's always the make or break for these kinds of campaigns, especially going deep into enemy land.
And who got that job? Because, let's be honest, Shu's supply lines, they hadn't always been their strong suit in the past.
Exactly. And Kongming knew it. So he didn't just assign some quartermaster. He gave the job to Ma Dai, the Chenkang Hu, made him left army leader for transporting grain.
A high-ranking officer just for supplies.
Precisely. Giving logistics its own dedicated, high-status commander, it signals they were taking it incredibly seriously this time. They needed to make sure feeding, over 200,000 soldiers wasn't an afterthought. It shows they learned from past failures.
Okay, so command structure, logistics.
Yeah.
What about the inner circle? The sources mention Guanxing and Zhang Bao right there with Kongming. That feels symbolic, especially for anyone following the story.
Oh, absolutely. It signals continuity. Guanxing as left guard, Zhang Bao as right guard. These aren't just any generals.
They're the sons of Guan Yu and Zhang Fei.
Exactly. Liu Bei's sworn brothers. Having them right next to Kongming sends a powerful message. This campaign isn't just Kongming's idea, it's fulfilling Liu Bei's legacy. Hugely important for morale, for political unity back home.
And the planning didn't stop at the army itself. The sources mentioned something Kongming did before they even left the capital, a defensive move.
Yes, crucial foresight. He sent an edict to Li Yan and others back down south, telling them explicitly, guard the river mouth.
Why was that so critical?
Because marching the main army north left their flank exposed to eastern Wu. Wu was their ally, technically, but, well, an unpredictable one.
Right, you couldn't fully trust them not to take advantage.
Exactly. So by securing that eastern border before launching the main attack north, Kongming made sure his back was covered. It's a really comprehensive 360-degree strategic thinking.
Okay, so we've got this picture of meticulous, almost cold calculation. And then, bang, high drama erupts. General Zhao Yun, the old veteran, storms in. He wants the vanguard.
Yeah, quite a scene.
Why did Kongming hesitate? I mean, Zhao Yun is a legend, incredibly loyal, skilled. Why not just give it to him?
Well, Kongming's refusal, according to the sources, it seems like a mix of things. Partly respect, partly pragmatism. He brings up Zhao Yun's age.
He's worried about him.
Yeah, he voices this concern that, the vanguard is tough, physically demanding. What if something went wrong? It could shake his lifetime fame, as the source puts it. Kongming seems worried about tarnishing the old hero's reputation.
And maybe worried about what that would do to the army's spirit.
Exactly. If Zhao Yun, this legendary figure, falters, it could really damage morale right at the start. So Kang Ming's trying to, protect the icon.
But Zhao Yun wasn't buying it. He refused to be put on the shelf. And he uses history to argue his case, right? That's pretty clever for a warrior.
Oh, it's the ultimate power move in that context. He doesn't just say, I'm still strong. He invokes these historical giants known for fighting well into old age.
Lian Po and Ma Yuan.
Right. Lian Po, the guy who supposedly ate a ton of rice and meat just to prove he was still fit for battle. And Ma Yuan, famous for campaigning down south when he was well into his 60s.
So Zhao Yun is basically saying, I'm not just me, I'm part of this tradition. Age is experience, not weakness.
Precisely. And he wasn't subtle about it. The argument ends with this incredibly dramatic threat. It really shows you the kind of honor code these guys lived by.
He threatens to, smash his head?
Yeah. He basically says if he can't lead the vanguard, he'll smash his head upon the steps right there in front of Kang Ming.
Oh.
That forces Kang Ming's hand. You just can't let a figure like Zhao Yun kill himself over a command posting. The fallout for morale would be catastrophic. It was a very effective, if extreme, way for Zhao Yun to make his point.
So Kang Ming's stuck. He needs strategic sense, but he also needs to respect this immense loyalty and fire. How does he thread that needle?
This is where you see Kang Ming's genius, I think. The compromise is brilliant. He says, yes, Zhao Yun can lead, but...
There's a catch.
Right. Ding Zi, another capable, respected commander, steps up or is appointed to go with him, essentially as a co-commander, or maybe just key support. And they don't get a massive chunk of the army. They get 5,000 elite troops.
Ah, so a smaller, specialized force.
Exactly. Kang Ming honors the veteran spirit, keeps morale high, but he also manages the risk. He puts a partner with him, gives him top troops, but not an overwhelming number. It's balancing respect, passion, and practical military sense.
Okay, so Shu marches out. Meticulously organized, elite vanguard led by the fiery Zhao Yun alongside Deng Zi. The sources paint this picture of a huge force, over 300,000 men, flags everywhere, spears like a forest. News hits Luoyang, the Wei capital, fast. Emperor Tao Rui gets the report. Big threat on the border. What's the immediate reaction? Who steps up?
Wei's response is fast. Yeah, but it feels reactive, not strategic. And this figure steps forward, Xiahou Mao. And his reason for volunteering, it's intense, but right away, it's problematic, it's personal.
Okay, tell us about Xiahou Mao, because this really seems to be where Wei's decision-making shows a crack. Status over skill.
Totally. Xiahou Mao, his courtesy name was Zixiu. He had incredible status, but basically zero real battlefield command experience, especially not on this scale.
And his status came from?
Well, first he was the son of Xiahou Yun.
The general killed years before at Hanzhong by Shu forces.
Exactly. So Mao's #1 motivation, revenge for his father. But wait, there's more. He was also adopted by the even more famous Xiahou Dun, and he was married to Cao's daughter, Princess Qine. That made him a Fuma.
An imperial son-in-law. Okay, so massive political connections, a personal vendetta, but not the guy you'd necessarily pick to face Zhu Jilang. What did he ask for?
He asks for command of the armies out west, the Guangxi forces, a huge command. And Emperor Tao Rui, well, he seems swayed by it all, the passion, the family ties, the call for vengeance. He's ready to just give it to him.
But someone tries to stop it. This is maybe the most revealing part about the Wei court at that moment.
Yes, a crucial warning comes from Minister Wang Lang. He's a senior figure, understands strategy. He steps in and basically says, hold on. He tells the emperor that Mao is young, inexperienced. You cannot give him this massive responsibility against someone like Zhu Liang, who he calls resourceful and strategically profound.
Solid advice, logical, strategic.
Absolutely. Wang Lang sees the mismatch. This isn't a job for someone learning on the fly, no matter how highborn.
But Xiahou Mao, he doesn't debate the strategy. He just shuts Wang Lang down. How?
Yeah, he pulls out the ultimate weapon in that kind of court setting, accusation. He doesn't argue about his experience. He basically accuses Wang Lang of being a traitor, a secret collaborator with Kang Ming. Yeah. He dismisses the advice as disloyalty, puffs himself up, boasts about studying strategy with his father, and yells something like, "How dare you look down on me because I'm young?" Then he makes this grand promise to capture Kang Ming or die trying.
And that works?
It seems to. The outburst shows that right then, in that court, playing the loyalty card, appealing to emotion and status, it just completely steamrolled actual strategic sense.
So the emperor just ignores Wang Lang's warning.
Yep. Tao Rui goes with family ties and vengeance. Xiahou Mao gets the job. Appointed Grand Commander. gathers over 200,000 troops from the western regions. And just like that, you've got the stage set. Master strategist versus the privileged, angry, and untested commander.